moving right along. I don't know about you, but I'm being distracted. Otherwise, I would have a better continuity about my language journey endeavor. But I think really I'm just taking a break, right? You know, there's a part of humanity that is definitely like down with Pisces, you know. We are doing a lot of Pisces planets. I think the sun still in Pisces here on the 17th, and it's deep into the later degrees of Pisces, which technically for whoever is influenced by the sun there, it's still winter. We just had a snow melt off, and thank God that we have snow now. A little bit, you know, chemtrailed out, but getting into the astrology, the sun in Pisces. See, 29 degrees it hits on the 20th, and that's when it conjuncts Neptune. And everything has been lining up this way. We have Mercury that did that in the beginning of the year, I mean the beginning of March, and then now it's retrograde. And we have Venus going retrograde in Aries, which is amazing because then it does conjunct Neptune coming here on the 28th, and it's just a very, very spiritual passage. It's a time where everybody who is the organism here with the 5-pointer, you know, the I am, needs to take a rest, take a break. Now, if we're looking at Uranus in Taurus, which is very weird, trying to teach us the benefits of, for sure it's just meditation, but you're just getting into your microcosm and your surroundings and simplifying, scaling down, and doing, yeah, of course, getting into the earth if you ever possibly can. See, there's just a huge, the city anomaly, right, in the modern day world, that is really just imprisonment. If you ask a lot of people now that see the electrical wires and the communications wires going up, see, there's only one way to handle all of that, and that is to know that you're in prison and know the nature of it. See, you can't make this crap up, that it's highly technological. It does stem outside of this realm or the earth atmosphere. What I mean is communications like in what we see here, the cuckoo's nest, I guess, which is where all the planes can fly and stuff. I know this sounds crazy, but no, we are dealing with a civilization that doesn't know much because a whole layer of information has been taken away, which it was taken away from their perception, which is pretty darn, it's basic to say, but we can keep talking about it to, um, well, first of all, it's hard to know what we're supposed to do here, so I know that meditation is key. Talk about microclimate, microcosm, you know, I have to call the animal control. I need to see where the dog is that continually barks. It does it at all hours of the night. It might stop for an hour, but it'll just pipe up again, and when it does, it goes for it's solid barking. I know I've talked about this. Sorry, I just talking about this, but backing way up, I mean Shauna's version here, talking about it. Those people, that is definitely an overlay, that they're being paid in a roundabout way to create this overlay of something that is, it's now getting back to the distraction factor. Exactly that. That's exactly what it is, because we are trying to receive our downloads at the very least, you know, or to try to get a rest. but no, I'm talking about on a very deep level. Okay, so of spiritual warfare, and wouldn't it be great to just have a barking dog over off in the distance for some people, so that some people cannot get a solid rest at night? Not that that depends on it, but yeah, maybe it does. I mean, God, you guys, here I am talking about it. I'm supposed to do something with communications, the mediums through which we use to communicate, music and all art forms, and this right here, number one, we all should be using it, you see. And when I channel about language and where I've gotten with, see, I'm talking about how I cracked the code on my iPhone, meaning that it opened up to showing me some things. The reason why we don't get into it now and like what we need to be doing now is definitely exhausting out everything of the old world. Yeah, we are resetting into not only a new zodiacal year by way of just the sun going back into Aries, but no, we have Neptune. Neptune it signifies eras. And then I picked up on how that Pluto is the regenerator or degenerator. It's about generations there. Like what radiates from the core of humanity out to express by having done certain disciplines of looking in and handling the truth. So, yeah, and Uranus kind of shakes up things and keeps everything kind of up in the air, like playable or pliable. And going back to Uranus, it being in Taurus, it's very much the call with all of this. I guess they call it chaos, but really it's just a lot of suggestion and stuff that's around us that doesn't allow us to enjoy the chaos, which is, I believe it or not, it's just reality. This moment now, take a nice deep breath, and if you go out into Mother Nature and sit with the silence that reality is, it's just this peace. And see, we need to get our words straightened out, because let alone the definition, babes, we need to, of course, use this more. If you're typing, I keep saying it, and I don't want to sound crazy or anything, but I'm for sure I know I do. See, this is where I've been getting back to my distraction in this zoo. What has been distracting me is, of course, on the bottom line, and it's the same for everybody. It's the anti-social monetary system. I mean, it's just morphed into a huge wheel that it really strings a lot of people out. See, a lot of people are trying to get away from the matrix, right? Or just the old. It's the I call it the new world. It's actually the new world order that's actually crumbling, because we're going to get back to some old world, more like ancient, just timeless, really. We're a human being here. Well, if we are graduating into our evolutionary track, we are definitely hooked into something much more bigger than what meets the eye, and especially the bamboozlement. Now, getting back to the upper spectrum that is missing from humanity. Yeah, you'll see and hear evidence about this kind of thing, just as like gibberish, kind of like a cartoon level of communications, talking about fairy tales and stuff, and even yeah, the heaven and hell thing, and religion. See, I know it's important to bring back communications, bring forth into perception what is going on here. See, you can make it to the point, as far as communications, to where it's back to its very potent purpose or possibility of being something like an elixir, or more like, okay, a potion. For lack of vocabulary, what I mean is like an influence, a contagion, but really it's an interfacing system that it's like, well, why do you have communication here in the first place? What are you guys talking about? What do you open your mouths for? You notice how we do become radiators of something, right? Projectors of something, some more so than others. And you really want to get past the wording part and the way that we do tend to banter, and get into the vibe, the presence that's there. It's okay to be a chatty Kathy, or whatever you call them, right? Somebody who is just always a chatterbox and always talking. But see, now let's get into the quality of the talk. That's what I'm talking about. It's possible to hear silence in words, right? I would say out of the 3,000 videos I've made here, it's at least 1,500 hours, maybe 15 minutes of it has achieved coming from there. I'm just exaggerating. One thing is important to get into that vibe. Some people do not have any play or space, and I don't know. After a while, it's about vibes, right? It's like you don't align with just everybody. You don't groove with just everybody. Yeah, and see, there's that word groove, and it's good to get into these meanings and expand for the children where we live energetically, because energy is invisible, right? But when we start communicating, maybe we're doing boundaries, yeah, something like that. I mean, it can be, right? But not always. But yeah, it's interesting. It's we are definitely programmable PCs that requires interfacing, which is language, right? In order to hold memory and stuff like that. So that if we look into that alone, and how mechanical, or more like how perfect it can get, it doesn't have to be. Here I am talking under this major fucking um, Neptunian transit, but I never mentioned the fact that with the sun, and the fact that Venus and Mercury are both going back into Pisces, and Neptune is there too, that Saturn is in Pisces. And that gives it so-called structure. You wouldn't believe, but very difficult, I would say, for a lot of the subconscious programming out there that goes in and looks at what has been ingrained as a structure. You see, this particular structure we're looking at under the ocean, perhaps. Yeah, keep your eye out and ears out on that there could be discoveries under the ocean that are profound, like obvious, that, well, who are these people? What is this all used for? Or why don't we know, kind of a thing? And, well, getting back to that hidden spectrum that was so powerful that, well, now I don't think powerful is the word. We have to look at how delicate it is. You know, um, yeah. See, it's like the elephant in the china shop kind of thing. If you have an undisciplined culture, like within the culture, there's apt to be too much of something that causes an overflow of the undesirable consciousness, then you're not going to get any of the higher up results reflecting as a civilization. Um, So anyway, what I found about that language thing and what they're talking about too, that definitely correlates. And to me, I know I found the main gem. See, this is very difficult for me, and I have just had to. Um, well, I'm trying to defend my space and get my meditative space back and get my legs back. See, I'm almost being undermined here, I feel, especially because the communications is not there, right? And well, for me, to have a community, especially, well, just this right here, it makes sense that we use social media more for socialization, right? Just to put it in general like that, more and more this needs to be spoken of. Right now, it's kind of like this massive fanning out of people making money and kind of just kind of, pardon me, in a real sense, it's it's like garnishing the vital energy and delicacy of curiosities, like people that want to become enlightened and that need of wanting something deeper or something satisfying to be fulfilled, to even get an edge on something enough that is your own intelligence level. See, there's a lot of gimmickry out there. Right behind it is a price tag, or right in front of it. And that's always that's always like, oh, whatever. Because why? Because money isn't coming from a place of our social nature, which is human. It's not coming from a human place that says, enjoy, we trust. And this needs to all be put out on the table. See, we need our own socialized economics forum, even more like, say, central banking based in singularity. See, I'm sorry, I'm in dream world still, right? We're in the caterpillar soup, all of us are, with the Piscean tail end, where technically we're going to get into a new year. Really, it's a zodiacal reset. But bigger than that, though, this month with the Neptune going into Aries is a whole era reset. And I see some people around me might be really confused or trying to like dial me in or figure me out. Just one. But no, there could be people over social media that are looking. But I have such a hard time with social media because I'm a real person who lives in reality. But no, I get it. But no, I don't. I wish that we were more together in 3D land here. See, my community. We should have a potent get together, if not every day, but every week. I mean, God, no. It's just feeling like to me that no, this is the part of the spiritual warfare. It feels like that people have receded. And now, well, where else and how else do we have a babble but through swords, right? The words. And it's like, armor up, armor up. Well, what kind of armory do you have? What kind of weaponry? If one edge is taken away, see, what I'm talking about is the uppercase phenomena and what I know about it, and I would love to unfold more, very much more refined and to detail what it is about, and with the help of other information that's out there talking about it. And you're going to see it come up more and more. You see, you are with come June, And I bet you anything is when I just click right into a decision that I need to make about my really see. I was going to say, well, people around me don't know. I'm looking at my lifespan here, which could be okay at the most, or at the hopefully 20 years, right? We're going to live to be 80 or 70 or 80, right? 30 years. And so I'm laughing because, well, a lot of us are dodging bullets, man, as far as being in America. Hell yeah, you are. People probably won't even make it through the darn transit. Here come uh, Neptune, Mars oppose Pluto for the last time, which is like the graduation of who knows what. We have seen the place get burned down just down the street. You know, when I'm talking about the Pacific Palisades and how different I hear everybody is suffering something there, which is very just psychological. See, people need something, and there's already efforts to help us with our spirits and with our mentalities and with our bodies, you know, but it's so fragmented. It's so fragmented. It's, you know, what takes over and what helps the population deal with the traumas that they are going through is the same hands that create the problems. They handle very, like through the media, they handle the perception the way that you should, they funnel attention into what you should, how you should think about it. It's hard, you know, and we can see it. You know, why would we continue to talk about this, Shauna, day in and day out? Well, no, it's happening. You can see they keep running the same fucking thing on the population, and yeah, you see it too over social media. To just well, how do you stop that brainwash and that perspective from um, basically just people always staying in fear and kept on the lower level of understanding about things. How do you stop that? Well, just turn off the TV, turn off the anti-social media. Now, you know it's anti-social when it's just a one-way feed and there isn't much. See, that's illusory because we have a faction of people who are just a one-way feed. It's terrible, but they don't interact. They're not interacting. It's just look closely, man. Are they sitting right on top of you? And it's like you got to get out of there, you know, get away from, you know, the grandpa or whatever. You know, if they're not enlightened, they're not sitting there with a hookah, man, and their bandana with a feather through it or something, you know. And it's that whole image of the hippies against the what the police or whatever like that, you know. And but no, we've changed the language. I guess it's spiritual warfare, blah blah blah. And what a better place to use or to start to regroup ourselves, like I was talking about, instead of your choreographed subway dances. Why not gather in the name of that of your well-being? You know, it's just a matter of like who remembers how to feel good? Who remembers a good feeling, right? Let's get into it. Let's see. I know it's been going through my mind. You know, just prayer. If you knew how off, if you really knew how off. See, everybody's numbed down. This is where I know that I'm dwelling right now within the Piscean soups, which it's not always a clean ocean out there, right? We're looking at just muckety muck of whatever just washed down from the last floods, from the last fires, and just the whole of see, we have to get up out of that, you know, and we don't push or pull that as far as humanity is concerned, and here I am talking, I am humanity, that give it some time. Give us some time, give you some rest, plenty of rest. I mean, I'm experiencing, see, if somebody doesn't know how to, like, be there with you with that and honor that you, themselves even, that they should take a rest. Like, see, the narcissist doesn't, that's the fucking their worst nightmare, is for them to find themselves alone for any amount of time, right? And having to be present with something, like present with the present. Now, with nobody there, boy, you can be there and you can still see that there's nobody there. But see, what I mean is, well, no, there's always something more than being present with you, with those people. That they, yeah, it's like a cat that you get that just makes it a point to ignore you. It's like it waits for you to get home just so it can ignore you or something. But see, I don't need to dwell on that. See, that's the game that they might be playing. That if it gets up close to you, you'll notice it's the basic. It's just an energy grab. They don't need anything but attention. See, they're not really doing things from having accomplished something awesome. They're doing things, see, they're not getting your attention from having accomplished or, see, accomplished something. Sorry, I know it sounds like I'm just rambling, but I'm trying to make a darn video for people here. The accomplishment of the narcissist is only to get attention. It's not to do that particular thing. They don't, therefore they don't get anything. It's just they're overridden by their need of getting attention from people. And that's interesting. Facebook is a big place for them. They really excel in attention getting, and it depends on what and who. See, I say fucking forget giving them that subject matter or them attention. We are working on looking at who is useful and who's useful. See, are they, what are they really radiating through it? Right? Look into it. Find your people, I guess. Uh, yeah, it's hard to tell. You need to listen to stories and start communicating more, right? We communicate more because that's what's going to create a safety net, especially a social safety net. See, this is what's going to be difficult for all of humanity as we get farther and farther into the Aquarius vibe, is that it calls for to look at the true nature of human beings, which is they are social beings. They are social, and I'll even dare say that um, generally they are. See, it's love. Humanity is love, and that's what is able to socialize itself. And so, yeah, we have a society that is pretty much sickened. It's very sick, and we don't see things cleaning up like in a heartbeat. No, we are seeing the very beginning. See, I hear a faction of the people who are just completely living in denial, and they haven't reached any safe coherency. They have a version of what's happening that is far from seeing that, no, we have to go through hell first. We have to definitely see what the results is from having found that upper spectrum that was missing and then reapplying it, which purges out even more crapola. See, with even just me talking about this, it's not an isolated incident. Sorry, I'm going to get in the shower after this. It's 3 in the morning. I was awakened by this dog, and I'm experiencing something very real. I know it's like nothing gets in between me and me. I could fall and need help, and have to go through something, right? We have to go through sources and stuff, but I'm here to tell you, man, it's so weird. Here I am, 50. Sorry, and something needs to be done about how that whatever it is out there. See, something is trying to take care of who, what. Well, there's two types here now. Why isn't that clear? The language is so sloppy that we don't get anywhere. Well, I've found something very profound that it's obvious to me, but I'm having to rest on it. I'm having to just set it way aside. It takes somewhat of concentration. See, what I was supposed to have done, sorry about this, but if you're wondering what happened and stuff, you guys, we can't move fast enough to start to try and take care of our presence here, which is just to be able to be here without falling into deception with the enemy. Yep, that's the spiritual warfare kind of thing, kind of talk about. See, I know that whatever plays the enemy um, can get right out of it by way of realization. And so thanks for listening to this. I mean, I don't know how, it's the Pisces planets. I can't believe that some people, I can't imagine what, see, there's, now we can talk at the Taurus and the fixed sign people, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, and Taurus. The Taurus and the Scorpio axis is interesting to think about how, see, that those people are being jostled by Pluto. It's very disturbing. When it's a square, and if you have like a stellium in Taurus, people can just drop dead, for 14 years or however long that Pluto stays in the sign. 20 years is what they're saying with Aquarius. That things are just transforming around you, and that includes the look of things just dying and falling away and going away. But something new is coming. But when it comes to people having died, like yeah, I went through a lot, and uh, I was left kind of basically alone, and I know that there's a profound reason for that. That right now I'm stuttering. Pardon the fact that, okay, so Mars is going to be squaring Chiron for all of us, and I would love to. I've tried to warn people up close to me, just one, and say, babes, yeah, it's happening all around you. People are having to lick the old wounds, and I say the old wound. It's not theirs. It's humanity trying to get into their new body, which requires looking through and thumbing through this horrible wounding that we have, which is based in our roots, our root chakra. It has to, well, it does the Chiron in Aries here, it points at 20 degrees and see, and then next month it's at 22, and we're talking about how that by the time that Chiron gets to this 20 and 22 degrees, Mars squares it. And now this is happening right here in March. Like next week, well, starting the 23rd. We're already kind of feeling it. And I'm a Mars ruled person, and I'm telling you, it's kind of weird because I'm not that, I'm not that much of an open sore, but it's there. No, it's opening up. It's like within the entire cosmos that the human aperture or our bodies, electrically, just the information, we are hooked into it. See, with the collective, there's stuff going on that we're all connected, so we can feel it. We can feel an emotion like waving through. And I've experienced now personally, just with this full moon alone, right? The full moon eclipse, blood moon, right on my Venus, pardon me. Um, Still kind of just coming off of that energy, to tell you the truth. It's barely the 17th that I'm making this video, and I'll be posting this on the 19th or something. I'm trying to just keep up with it. I might take a 2-week vacation, because I honestly, we need rest. I need rest for the rest of the time that there's that sun in Pisces. I'm going to be wanting to move into my state of meditation. See, I've been distracted, but the whole population is being distracted from being able to be quiet enough to hear anything. See, it's a madhouse. And otherwise, you would have a self-organizing capability within just your neighborhood, your area. See, it's overlaid with the enemy's fucking flack, which I hate to say it, but comes in the form of people that are programmed. It's hard to fucking fathom that most of what's around us, see, in the modern day achievement, is completely institutionalized weaponry that is just impossible. You're not going to be able to penetrate that particular fence, which is like another, here we got Pink Floyd, another brick in the wall, right? It's just the wall. Now, what are you talking about? What is it? I'm talking about on a spiritual level. There's spiritual warfare. There are souls. See, I am trying to retrieve my soul. And I've been reaching out, and it's been getting pretty fucking gnarly. It's a case. So I think that what we experience is that, no, that's not the real help, and that's not the real help. Jesus, is my onto something? Girl, you are fucking getting completely lost. What do you mean? See, Christ, that story is trying to let us know how tedious is, and how it's like none of your business, really. Just, if you find something, share, radiate, but know that the more righteous you are, if you do find out what's happening here, I have my little baby, the more you're going to be hunted down, and see, even your neighbor hates you. Because why? Well, because they're programmed with something that is, okay, so it's not a hippie putting a flower inside of the gun barrel. It's on the other side of the barrel. And it's not even a barrel anymore. It's just this fucking eye that looks at you, that hates your freedom. It hates your freedom, man. See, we're right now, if you want to talk about freedom, it's that place of pure creation. Like what Pisces is like the ocean over there. It's just sloshing, and anything is found there, right? It has gone there, and it's coming from there, and that freedom, it's very genuine. It's what the artist knows that he has. It's chaos, period. How do you like this video, babes? Like and subscribe. At least I made a little bit of sense here. See, I have Saturn squaring my Venus. It's really tough on my love life. I'm looking at it. It's hard to feel if it is love or not. I do feel it, and I'm just like calculating it up. I'm like, no, yeah, it feels kind of good, but no, see, the main thing, babes, is communications. If you don't have good communications, you don't have anything. So you could be just constantly holding back good things and stuff only because they do, and they never say anything. See, you don't want to give them anything. They don't want to give you anything. And this is like a fucking, will you people learn how to give, especially in communications? Like, interact. It's not always an opinion. It's not. No, we are validating our existential lives here. The fact that, come on now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did we put a language together that vaguely points at an experience that we're all having here, that's the same for all, which is the truth? See, I'm around something that's like, this is weird. This person practices making sure that it's wrong all the time, unless it's making money. And even then, pardon me, but especially that's why. It's just a money-making machine, and they are doing everything wrong. I mean, it's not at all the same as what 40 years ago, or even 25. See, but 40 years, especially 60 or fucking 75, when it's just different. So now we have to figure out how to what the difference is, how to be the difference, And I say I found it, man. I found it so fucking hardcore. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. How do I clear up the burdens that I'm experiencing, which is, oh man, it's not really a burden. I have an easy life. See, something is attacking my easy life. And I'm like, well, I would rather just excuse me and somebody else, offer up, goddamn it, man. Pardon me, babes. It's too much talking, too much trying to structure something when really it's a matter of time that we get called and we're going to see something. See, I would love to get an understanding. Sorry about that, but okay, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. I will. I'm going to communicate. I need to get out from under this confusion, man. That person, whatever it is that's fucking me up, man, that can't communicate, cannot, isn't really communicating. It's like, the more it goes on, the more I'm left to my own faculties, which sometimes it sweeps over. It's like, did I just see a ski mask on that person? No, they seem normal, but the demeanor seems kind of, and it's like, I wish it can just communicate, because I hate being left to my, and then they hold that against me. It's like, well, it's because you don't communicate, man. Get out of here. Just get out of here. I don't need this fucking character fucking smashing. We're trying to pull up out of something, out of all that, and I'm pretty sure that nobody can afford to be around anybody right now. It's like, would you just isolate and get into your wound licking and fucking get your downloads of how do you heal and what is it you need to heal in your subconscious mind? Yes, allow yourself at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks of downtime. Should have been happening already. That's what I'm trying to get. And it's like, fuck. It just feels like that there's a population out there that's geared that goes, no, and it's not coming from them. It's coming from, they have a boss. Ooh, where is that hidden hand, man? It's like, get out of here, Satan. Fucking go to sleep. Let people sleep too. Pardon me. This is my little baby. I have my little baby. She's keeping me warm. And thanks for listening to this. I would love to make a better video for you pretty soon, where I'm not so Pisce'd out. There's nothing I can say or anybody can say right now. Is that it's like we're just still floating around the bath in the bathwaters, really inside the ocean. It's such a profound time though too, really, because it's a time to raise your vibrational frequency and choose feeling good. Choose to nurture yourself a little more. Just do the work alone. Choose to be alone enough, because like I said, we're changing out our shell, and that's kind of a sensitive time. Like I'm talking about the lobster who has to change, but it gets hard. The shell gets too uncomfortable, and then we have to change out. I know I'm experiencing that, and that's a vital time. You don't need anybody, but people that understand that time, that can communicate with you about you. See, with you, not just taking over your opportunity. And you know that that's happening if they don't communicate at all, and you're feeling like you're just being stuck in a mold. Now, if you're being bombarded, like I am, like what everybody is, babes. You have bills to pay, and you have, right? You don't need somebody getting on your nerves on top of that, right? But they do. See, the way that the narcissist gets on your nerves, and this is where you get inflammation and all these problems, is when, well, if they're using your needs, because that's a stress anyway. right? It's like you have your nervous body that's hooked up into that. Sorry, I'm just talking about this, but it's a real thing to talk about. How that no, they're just working on your um getting energy. See that they've controlled you through your anxiety, but really it's your nervous system that turns into anxiety. Yeah, yeah, and they don't know that that's all that they're communicating with. It's weird. That's when you know you're being abused because they keep you in that instability. They don't know it's about, well, come on, can we create stability and peace? You know? And sorry, my cat's right here. She's getting into the worst place, right? And she likes to get right on my computer. She's like, I found it, anyway, but all right, you guys. I don't want to keep apologizing, See, this is the thing is just don't apologize for being sloshy and in that place of creation, which is chaos, which is the ocean, which is now. What are we doing now? See, um, uh, I'm surrounded by, and you are too. If you're in the world and if you're not sleeping like with Rambo out there in the middle of the fucking, but in the middle of the wilderness. See, but we have Elon Musk with his ability to shoot down any fucking kind of frequency. Really is the worst thing. Is what they do is they do that. It's military, and see, people think we're imagining that. It's like, no, go look at the patents and look what they've been working with for fucking 100 years now. 100 years. That's barely 1925, and you would be surprised about what has been controlled then into horse shit coming out the back end, and then um yeah, just moving right along. Got my kitty cat here. She's like, I want to play. She's got her lid. I'm gonna throw it, and we're gonna get back to just it's just the Western style meditation right now. I mean, with Pisces planets, I hope that you're on some kind of spring break vacation and able to like just go through the fog. You have to I mean, this is it. We're going. We have to sleep. It's kind of like dream time, and hopefully you're being protected. See, I've received some snow, and it's great. you know, I was so happy to have it. I even snowed myself in twice. I left my car down for the first time ever, because I'm making sure that I can drive. But I figured it's like, no, I can. I stayed parked anyway for 2 weeks, and I have Jupiter and Pisces going retrograde, and I'm a highly misunderstood person, but as long as I understand me, that's what I'm here to tell you too. As long as you understand you, then you don't have to make yourself clear to other people, but when it's clear to other people, then they'll see that you're understandable because you work for you. See, the thing about narcissists, and I hate to pick on people, but really everybody has this problem right now. We just have to learn to live together. It has nothing to do with narcissism or this and that. See, if we pulled out the fucking enemy, which is a parasite, which does have us using money incorrectly, it has us doing everything incorrectly. But I blame money on the reason why we do things incorrectly for a living, so-called living, and how that it's not hooked into the human organism per se, like, say, pardon me, that when they sorry, I'm getting fucking irritated about this fucking video. How that when if they do discover something worthwhile, it brings them joy. Well, money doesn't do that because human beings, and I'm going to close this up because I was talking about what human beings are really like. Because there's two types here. The human being feels joy. That's who they are as a human. Just if it's human, then it's joyous and it's loving, and it wants that for you. It's like, hey, how far did you get? It's kind of the question. It's like, well, where are you with that? Where are you with being loving? I mean, it's kind of like there's some people here, call them warriors, who they're here to bump each other. They kind of bump each other. They need each other. You know, they need each other. They need each other to bump each other into play, into good play, into feeling good, kind of like this. Hey, have you had anything to eat today yet? And then if it's a no, then hand them some fucking popcorn. I don't know, people, but where are you and how can we do this? See, getting back to the Uranus in Taurus that calls for us to slow down and have microcosm and climates that are hospitable enough for us to be able to make sense towards each other being here. I hate to fucking sound this fucking weird shit like this, but it's like we're looking at some foreign fucking crap. The more and more that it's high in numbers that complete foreign, just purely opinionated individuals are there, and they cannot for the life of them get on the same page as a child that just says, we're all here in the same boat here. Why can't I invent something that takes care of a certain fucking ridiculous thing that I see? Like, for instance, what water is up to. Let's talk about water. We will be something aggressive going on with water because of the way that Neptune is going into Aries. See, you should be getting, if you don't get it now, we will be experiencing kind of getting away from that, like a sauna, like a jacuzzi, or even just a clean glass of water. Not really literally, I don't really mean that. I'm hoping that it's the opposite, that we can finally figure it out, like from having gone through this era of the Neptune and Pisces that's now going to go away by the end of March here, and it's going to give us a taste of what Aries, Neptune and Aries is going to be like. And it does that till June, goes all the way to 2 degrees, and then it goes backwards, and then by October, okay, we're looking into November, by the end of this year, it's going back into 29 degrees Pisces, and this is when, as an astrologer, we're just going to try and repeat it like the Channel 4 News. Please get the very last message of the divine water god. You know, Neptune in Pisces, which is actually pointing at probably possibly the nature of the real God. Pardon me here, playing with my cat and my hair is horrible. I should go and take a shower, and in a couple hours. See, I noticed it. I was on a good regimen, but I kind of fall off because what? Well, I'm going through some shit that I'm gonna get through it, okay? And so are you. Don't dwell on the negative dark hole and patches that that the average population wants you to dwell on it. They see you there and they're like, oh, pity party, yes, and it's like, no, yeah, whatever. Learn how to give, and what do you have to give? You can't give from an empty cup. And we're not even talking about money. After a while, we're not really talking about money. But then again, see, where do we get it? We have to come together more and say, no, we are here. And why can't we fucking figure it out from the bottom up instead of from the top down? Really from the inside out instead of from the outside in. Really from like just having really achieved being able to relax enough to solve problems and really solve them. Instead of trying to figure out, well, how do I, capitalize on somebody's weakness or create a problem so that when I create the solution, I can get paid. Whatever. 57 minutes, huh? I don't like the tone of this video at all, but here it is. It's like, whatever excuse, but we do have 2 planets in Aries that are going backwards, Mercury and Venus. They don't do well. Both of those planets don't do well in Aries. It's harsh and it's hard. So hang tight. And when the the most amazing thing happens, I try to explain it. I think, and I don't know if these videos are coming out or what, but enjoy the dream time, babes. I'm feeling like that. I should take 2 weeks off, and if I need to come back with anything really, I would rather that I stay here like more profusely and communicate how I'm feeling about what I'm going through. Um, the one last thing I'll say, if you made it this far, and make it worth it to you, is how destructive a non-enlightened, actually toxic, probably, possibly, I don't know if you're talking about narcissism or sociopath or psychos, who they tell you that they love you, they love you, they love you. They might have feelings for you, but they don't know that now it's time to handle this. You don't know how to handle it. But see, and so with that, we can see that with their toxicity comes this talk of "I love you." See, now you know you're you've hooked up somehow, whatever, if it's fucking Stockholm syndrome or what, but you are feeling for this person. You have feelings, but you see that they don't really know what love is. Number one, they really don't. Otherwise, they wouldn't treat you so poorly when you're feeling down. When you're not feeling well, they wouldn't like just take advantage of that. They would actually be there with that instead of making that a way that they get close to you and it's just preying on it and making themselves look good by helping, right? This is a really sensitive subject matter because they do help, but that's them helping themselves. See, it's transactory, right? Very dangerous. See, this is why we need a social system here. Why should we be backed in any corner? But people are doing this from one household to the next. You think, do they ever fucking just get real and look at each other and say, you trapped me, man. You got me. Well, do we have a social system that helps us? That says, oh, checkmate, fuck this shit. Really, all of you should just sit on the ground and say, why do we have to fucking treat each other like enemies like this? Why do I have to live in bondage like this? And why am I isolated? What, you didn't do it right? Doing it right means you don't fucking complain about having been put in the goddamn closet with each other. The scenario unfolding all the time where somebody kills somebody because they just look at each other like this and it's like, will you please fucking A, man? See, tribal living goes social over social media right here. See, I wanted to talk to you about the one who tells you that they love you, they love you, they love you. What they're doing is destroying you there because now all that you can think is that, then I must be doing something wrong. It must be me then. No, it's so destructive that way. Yep. Because you're not, they don't know how to get along with a fucking toothpick holder. And then they're going to tell you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And they're not getting along. They are not friends with not even a fucking anything. Not present with anything much. They have a lot going on inside that they have managed to, who knows? See, the thing is if they found something, you should share it. If any real substantial joy getting, then my cat is doing something over here. Then you share it. You have no choice but that you share it. So anyway, that's what when we're on to something, it's not so much like joy, but it's like an intense satisfaction and fulfillment. And uh, yeah, there's two types here, babes. You want to talk about, okay, so it's the devil and it's your fairy godmother over there. Now, the fairy godmother is just innocently chopping up kiwis, and it's got a bird hovering over, and they get along, and it's all harmonious, and the sun is shining. It smells really good. Things can live there. And the other one, not so. I mean, which one do you want? You want a toxic fucking garden? Or do you want the non-toxic garden? Basically, bottom line is what we're talking about. Organics. Organism. Organ. Sorry. the way that I sound is because I fucking found something. It's devastating. It's like, but why can't I just interface it? Why can't I just, what am I supposed to do? I was supposed to do it like a month, 2 months ago. I could see it coming up. I could see it coming up now. And it's just like, I have all of this uh, enemy, the enemy fighting me. It has nothing to do with me. No, I know how to meditate and take care of me. I wish I could take care of me. Really? Really, the way I'm supposed to? I'm supposed to be isolated. I'm supposed to be meditating. So are you. If you're anybody who is going to be doing anything for yourself for the next 20 years, you should give yourself a rest. Don't mind this fucking generation out there that is actually getting ready to die. And they're afraid of sleep and getting rest because it reminds them of death or something. Whatever, fucking people. We are going to just start growing up out of these generations that are just on a glitch. They're moving in such a way they don't even know from where they're coming. Why they're coming that way? From where are they coming? Why are they even pursuing anything of anything the way they do? See, I mean, God, I'm looking at it. It's like, fuck, watch out for these people to just blow up and get a deal. Doing what? It's certainly not the deal of having become genuinely enlightened and then being able to be cool to people genuinely. It doesn't have to be on Facebook that it shows, but when you get close to people, really in 3D reality, and you start being the contagion of enlightenment instead of the contagion of, man, what we're feeling, all this stuff, babes, it needs to be flipped around. It needs to be flipped around, and this is where I'm like, yeah, I would love to, we need to be funded a little bit just to be able to sing. Fund us to sing and dance and be very happy together, and that's what destroys the fucking misery that's around us. That is just a fucking, well, talk about that brick in the wall, who tells you, I love you, I love you, I love you, though I love you, while they're trickling your, fucking with your basic needs, right? Which is your rights. And you know that you're a good person, but then, see, it's not working out. They only say I love you when it's not working out. And then there you're like, with those words, you're thinking, God, then I must be me then. Down to the core of love. Down to the point of not saying, well, I just can't be in love. And it's not right. They're just full of shit. They don't know what they're saying. I wish they would communicate, don't you? No, and when they do, pure disappointment, right? It's like, oh, fuck. Fuck! Damn, what happened? What's the problem, Shana? Oh, well, not my problem. We take our risks, and we take our risks in the right place, and we're doing the right thing by communicating every little fucking stitch and nook and cranny. After a while, if they're not doing that, stop pushing the cart, and everything drops off, and then what are they going to do? Well, they start to agitate. They start to, so you have to be careful, because they're going to overlay you with a fucking barking dog over there. Or their shitty conversation. It's like, babes, look, we need to shut up now. And it should have been 2 weeks ago, just of being able to be with how sloshy it is, how trippy. And I would love to get into, we can get into next month's astrology, but boy, I mean, I'm talking about just by the end of this month, what Venus and Mercury are doing, what Neptune does, is just amazing. It is totally remarkable. And if you're an artist or a spiritual person, you're feeling it. You want your time alone, and you're feeling kind of like just nothing in particular. It's like can't help but to get deep rest. Why? Well, especially for the part of the organism, which is the Aries, which is everybody, which is the very drive, our electrical bodies, how it's been down in Cancer and it's doing the square in Chiron, and we're just licking our wounds. Everybody around us is ultra sensitive, and they're handling their wounds in different ways. Now, you watch out for the people who have been abused so bad that they don't know how to do their shadow work, and they're preventing other people from doing their rest and rejuvenation. They don't know how to do it. They don't know that time of getting into their own pain, getting into it, cry a bit. Feel, sit with it. It's like, well, it's nobody's but yours. Just sit with it and think, well, fuck, and I don't even have to be this way, really. You're really sensitive by now. If you're anything like me, ultra sensitive. That's what Pisces is. It's extremely psychic. It's just in the ocean, and it can taste and hear everything so much more intensely. I mean, especially the taste. It's like you're just one membrane of like a tongue that is, and a that is connecting with everything, tasting every body and everything. And it's just a time of, have respect. Now, there's a parasite out there, there's people out there that operate parasitically that just are fucking geared up to do the opposite. They love causing agitation and conflict and keeping people unstable and preying on them energetically. Watch out for the energetic fucking vampires going on, man. We have that it's hard to communicate it, but when we get back into Pisces, it's time for healing, and it's time for looking into this. It's time for getting the higher octave of water, which is to purify, 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 and hopefully this moon in Virgo did a little bit for some people. I know that I was trying to heal through that time, but being bugged, I would rather see it's bugged when it's not communicating anything on the same page as to where you are. It's not really connecting. It's like this is the time to have right on contacts with people that are knowing of what time it is out there and where we are, and to communicate in such a way that keeps us from being like going into the mud, right? And keeps us away from the shallows. That's why you want to communicate something deeper than just like that fucking dog barking over there. That is just like this backfill. We don't need to be fucking backfill with any kind of sentiment or sentiment, really. Sentiment. Thank you for listening. Mars and Chiron, it's kind of sensitive. It's not even our wounds. It's probably the whole collective. Can we take care of each other and acknowledge that maybe so, but boy, good luck. See, that's why we have social media that can, okay, I can get more likes from somebody in Ukraine or fucking, not that I'm looking for that, really. I'm looking to see something it's a big test, really. I think I should be getting up early in the morning and doing my work again more. Just fell into, just waking up, getting just sidetracked, artists are, really creative people get up really early in the morning, like way early, because um, I already tried to explain it, and I won't go through it again, but it has to do with the field, the way that you can tap the ethers. See, there's the ethers that they have taken away from us. That's one of the things to talk about. And anyway, have a beautiful rest of the day. It's minute 11, 1:11, 1 hour and 11 minutes. Thank you.